Good evening. I'd like to call the North Augusta City Council study session for Monday, April the 27th, 2026 to order. Before I turn it over to our city administrator, Mr. Clifford, I did want to, we're starting to get more citizens following our meetings, our study sessions, and we've said this numerous times, but I did notice there were some questions somebody sent me that had been posted about, and I wanted to kind of explain the background of how we do our packets, our study sessions. So basically, City Council receives their packet every Friday, and just to kind of give you an example, the purpose is we have a study session. We have City Council meetings on the first and third Mondays, and we have study sessions on second and fourth. And the whole objective was to allow more time for council to be able to reflect and discuss what we're going to be voting on, and also for citizens. So the thought process is basically on Friday, everyone got every citizen, we post the agenda for the study session, and then we always post a draft of the city council upcoming meeting the following week. And the whole idea of the study session is three things, and Jim always talks about it. One of the things we do at study sessions, we review that draft agenda. So this is a chance for citizens to listen, take notes, and say, oh, these are the things. So you get to hear us talk about it, and then we let you have a whole week to reach out to your council, to ask questions prior to us actually voting at a city council meeting. So there really is plenty of time for citizens to kind of let you know what it used to be. And Pat and Kevin can tell you, City Council did a study session 1 hour before the City Council meeting. So you try to get your head around that. All right. So the idea is that, we want citizens on the study session night tonight. We have a number of ones here. I know people are watching. This is your opportunity just to listen to us talk. You can pull up what the draft agenda is. There may be changes pulled or not pulled before then, depending on the situation. But then after tonight, you've got a whole week to reach out to your council person or to have questions that you can ask the next week at the city council, the public comment period. So by no means, the whole reason we changed this was we wanted to make it to where citizens had more opportunities to learn to where they would not. And the last thing I would say is, if everybody would just kind of put this on their calendar, if you want to know what is happening, all you got to do is pull up the city website around about 6 o'clock or 7, right, on Fridays, Jamie? You normally post it sometime in the evening, right? And you can see what the study session agenda will be, what our draft agenda for the following week will be, and then the Friday before our city council meeting, what will actually be on the agenda. So the whole objection is we want to give everybody more opportunity to listen, to ask questions, and reach out to us. So hopefully that might clarify a lot of the newer folks who are starting to pay attention. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to our city administrator, Mr. Jim Clifford.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And as our practice, we'll have 3 items to go through, or 3 focus areas, I guess. One will be the agenda review for next week for a city council meeting. Then the department directors will go through the department details. And lastly, we'll go under Mayor's Matters. We had listed 2 separate items there, one under economic development and one under Riverside Village Parking and cyber discussion. The second of which is now going to be moved to an executive session on next Monday. So we'll publish that as part of the agenda packet review, so we will not be having an in-depth discussion this evening about the cyber and parking, but you will be getting the Linda Williamson update on the finances associated with the Riverside Village. So with that, we'll go ahead and move into the agenda review. And you have a number of proclamations, obviously great outcomes here for our North Augusta High School, both the girls and boys basketball teams. I think they'll be acknowledged here through proclamations. Proclamation for Law Enforcement Week and also for Public Works Week. And I think we'll also be introducing some of our new K-9 officers here as well. And then we'll move into old business. And under old business, we'll have under Planning and Development Ordinance number 2026-09 to approve the general development plan for the 201.8 acre The Hive plan development on the east side of West Martintown Road between Nobcone Avenue and Interstate 20, second reading. And as a reminder, and if they have any detailed questions, Tommy Paradise can certainly answer those, but this was an item that went through the Planning Commission, and you all have acted on it once as the first reading of an ordinance. And this involves shrinking some of the lot sizes on the Hive single-family homes, along with the total density of the project, so there'll actually be less homes. And the reason for this had mostly to do with the topography of the land, and as the site prep was going on at the site, the developer asked to make that change, and based on recommendations from the staff and also through the Planning Commission, those were recommended for action here by council, and you all voted affirmatively for that last time. And just as a reminder for our citizens, for the Hive, that's that large development there at Exit 1, and it's really a three-part development. So you've got a commercial component that's up against Martintown, which has not yet started other than site work. Then you have the multi-family component in the middle, which you can see from Interstate 20 and also from Martintown Road. That's getting done by Fansler Construction. And then Stanley Martin Homes is doing the single-family aspect, which is the component that goes behind North Augusta High School. So that's this change to approve the development plan affects the single-family residential that's behind the high school. So I'll pause for any questions on this, but I know this has been discussed both through planning and also in your first reading. Hearing none, we'll move on to new business. Under item number 8, planning and development, resolution number 2026-26 to approve signage for Hammond's Ferry. I'll turn this over to Tommy for discussion from the podium. But if you're familiar with the entrance to Hammond's Ferry over by the old electric building, that bridge has a sign on it that involves Hammond's Ferry. They wanted to do an update to that sign, but that is actually on city property. So it's a pretty routine ask, but because it is on city property and public property, that has to come to city council for adjudication. So Tommy, I'll turn it to you.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. This is, and Mr. Clifford pretty much explained it, it's also Zone P public use, which the code says city council decides on. If you look on attachment 18 or attachment 8, it shows the before or what's there now and the proposed sign. Same size, it's just more of a bronze look. Any questions for me?
Tommy, was that proposed by the HOA?
Yes, sir. This was from the homeowners association.
And that's who'll pay for it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I think the new sign looks better than the existing thing. Thanks, Tommy.
Moving on to item number 9 under public safety, resolution number 2026-27, authorizing the city of North Augusta to make improvements at the animal control shelter. And so Chief's going to be able to talk about more in depth, but essentially what the council had given guidance on, I think towards the end of last year, involved using some funds of a capital projects fund to make improvements on 3 separate projects. I know the dialogue on which projects those are going to be went back and forth a number of times, but Chief's got, I believe, an update here on which 3 projects are to be accomplished, and the funds would be out of the capital projects fund, not to exceed $40,000 is what is before you for consideration. Chief, I'll turn it over to you for the specifics on what this resolution would accomplish.
All right, thank you. The first one is to additional drains inside the kennels, which are trench drains, so that for each kennel, as the waste or the water comes out of it, it goes straight into the drain in order to help reduce the cross-contamination between animals and improve efficiency and cleaning to make it a faster process. The second one is to make additional runs on the exterior to allow for more than one dog to be outside. Because the way it's set up now, we only have one run, so we just put one dog out there because we don't know what their interactions are between each other. And so what this will do is it'll allow more than one dog to have time to be outside. And as part of this, to improve the drainage of the area to where there's no water sitting down there, so the dog's not playing in mud. That way it's in a grassy area out back. And the third one is to create a separate exterior space for puppies to be outside, because one of the things that's recommended is puppies, when they come in, they can have different diseases because because it's too early to detect some of them as in adult dogs. So this would give them a separate area, so they're outside, they're able to get that sunshine, they're able to be able to play just like the other dogs are. And this is a side area that we'll be able to do that and put a shelter over that so that they're able to do that. And we've been in contacts with the North Augusta Animal Shelter Coalition Group throughout this process, and also with the FONA, working through that to make sure that everybody's on the same page, that these are the best projects we can have going forward for the city.
Chief, I think the puppy sounds great because of FONA, I know, has put some money into a new indoor kennel pods for puppy care. So the puppies will be taken care of on the inside, and then this will help on the outside, I'm assuming.
That's correct. That way we'll have a place we can set them outside in order to clean the inside,
Okay.
and it'll help make it more efficient.
Very good. I like it.
First of all, I'm glad these projects are going through. It's been long since needed, and I appreciate everybody's hard work on them. There's just one little, between where Officer Craig goes in and the actual entrance to where the dog kennels are, there's one little, recess there. And it seems when we flush water out of those drains, it always seems to bubble up right outside the door. So while they're digging in them drains, can we make sure that all that water gets carried away from the shelter? Because what happens is, if that water bubbles up right there outside the shelter door and somebody steps in it, then we're cross-contaminating anyway.
Yes, sir.
So while they're digging in them drains, if they seal that off real good, I like it.
Yes, sir.
So these next items are not listed on your agenda, but Tom Zeser, for our Director of Public Works, has some potential resolutions, contracts to discuss. So I'm going to have Tom come up to the podium and talk about two items which we may end up putting in on the council packet for consideration. Both of these would be fairly straightforward. One involves adding some additional funds to the NRCS grant that we have for what formerly was known as the Willowick Apartment Complex. So again, this falls under the dollar cost threshold of the grant, so this doesn't require any kind of city match. There's no city funds that go along with this. It just increases the scope of the project that still falls below the ceiling of the grant award to the city. And then the second item will involve contracts for road resurfacing, and that is one of the topics that we discussed at the offsite about doing road resurfacing as part of CPSD4 and potentially bundling that with some of the C fund that we get every year. So Tom, I'll turn it over to you for an update.
Yeah, not much left to say after that, but the NRCS project, the contractor ran into some unforeseen soil condition, ran into rock actually, and that required some specialized excavation equipment and techniques, and so that overran the contingency that we had in place for the project. So we are asking for a small upward adjustment of the overall budget. Again, well within our overall grant project amount.
So that's the resolution we approved recently.
This is almost identical to the one you approved last week.
Yeah,
This is for the other
piece of it. Okay.
the other project, yes. And then the second one was, yes, we received bids last week for road resurfacing, and this was a combined project. It combined our 25-26 C program allocation that comes from the state through the Aiken CTC, and the other part of that was CPST4 resurfacing that has been approved in the most recent reprioritization of CPST4. And so we received those bids, and we think we'll be ready to bring a resolution, a recommendation to award that by next Monday.
That's for Bowling Road?
No, Bowling Road is a separate project. That project requires some design work, which has been
Right.
approved.
Right,
And
okay.
we've initiated that with a engineering consultant. That is not part of what we've already bid. That list is just pretty much straight resurfacing.
Okay.
Yeah, so this work that Tom's going to potentially bring to us on Monday is straight up paving. It's just hey, they're just going to lay down more pavement. There's not a lot of engineering that goes into it. So that's the majority of the roads that will be serviced here with through CPSD 4. Bolin Road, because of the subsurface deterioration, requires engineering assessments and then some schematics, and then we'll have a separate paving contract associated with Bolin Road. So you're going to get a lot of bang for the buck as far as the first set of roads that Tom's going to bring out Monday. You've already approved the engineering contract for Bolin Road, and you should expect in a future date in a council session after we have the engineering done to have another paving contract specific to Bolin Road only. But in the meantime, we'll be able to get the ball rolling on all these other roads that are on the list.
Some of these roads going to be out off Walnut Lane, correct?
Yes,
Exit above.
several roads in Walnut Grove. Yes.
That's what I'm asking about. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Rayborn Point is another big one on there.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
That covers the agenda items for this evening, and I will turn it over to Jamie for the department details.
Thank you. Department details, we'll start with Finance Director Linda Williamson.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. For our Cycle 1 customers, we will have a due date for their April 10th bills coming up on May 4th. Their disconnection date for their April balances is scheduled to begin on Wednesday, May 20th. Cycle 2 customers, they have a disconnection for their March balances scheduled to begin on Tuesday, May 5th. And the due date for their April 25th bills is May 18th. And just a reminder, our business license renewals due date is this Thursday, April 30th. Those penalties will begin on May 1st, and it is 5% per month that they are late. Our taxes are also due at the end of this week on Friday, May 1st. Penalties will be added to any payments not postmarked by May 1st. And lastly, the finance office will close tomorrow between the hours of 11 and 2 so that our employees can attend the employee appreciation event for tomorrow. And that's all I have for now.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you. Next up is Human Resource Manager Kayla Ferguson.
Evening, Mayor and Council. If you will look on the back of your department details, you will see your employee appreciation flyer tomorrow from 11 to, I think it's, I'm not sure when it's over with, but it starts at 11. And you can also see your your employment opportunities on the other page. Thank you.
Thanks, Ken.
Thank you, Kayla. Next up is Engineering and Public Works Director Tom Zeser.
Well, again, so another paving project. This one we actually awarded last year. It's our 24-25 seed program roads. That contract is due to be complete within the next 2 weeks. So we have 3 roads that will be paved under that contract, and they are Dunbarton Drive in Hammond Hills area, Meridian Avenue, which is down off of East Buena Vista, West Buena Vista, and a portion of Marion Avenue will all be resurfaced here within the next 2 weeks. So a few days of aggravation for the residents, but that'll be it for the next 15 or 20 years.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you. Next up is Plan and Development Director Tommy Paradise.
Good evening again. We'll have the Board of Zoning Appeals next Tuesday at 6 p.m.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you. Next up is Public Services Superintendent of Sanitation Jason Sykes.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Utility crews are going to be conducting the fire hydrant inspection and maintenance. Looking to do about 1,004 hydrants. And then also we'll be reading meter routes 129 through 136.
Thank you, Jason. Next up is Public Safety Chief Johnson.
Good evening. This upcoming Saturday, May 2nd, we'll be hosting a Touch a Truck event at True North Church. The CAT team is organizing this event, putting it on. We encourage anyone to come out there. It'll be from 9 to 1. We'll have a sensory hour to start off from 9 to 10. That way everybody can participate with no sirens, no horns, none of the loud noises. This past Saturday, we had the DEA drug takeback occurred at Parks Pharmacy and at Kroger, and we were able to collect 168 pounds of unused medications so that they didn't fall into the wrong hands. And also, I just want to thank y'all again. I know we did the push-in ceremony for our new tanker. I did not expect it to be needed in such a timely manner, but last Friday we had a large fire on 520, and it had to put its work, multiple loads of water it had to take out there. So we did that. And I appreciate y'all's support for having it here and getting it here in time so that we need it. And also, we had another fire out on I-20 today, but it was able to maintain it small, and took our brush truck out there. So that's going to be the next thing that I'll be coming back to you asking for, is for funding for our brush truck, because we're currently using a 1998 model truck. And it's set aside to be funded in CPST 5. But it's important that we get it upgraded so that we can try to maintain these fires in a small, manageable area before they grow into something large. Yes, ma'am. There was multiple out there today between the 8 and the 11.
Chief, what's the lead time on a brush truck versus?
So it's less than a year is what I was told last week when I asked a salesman. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Next up is Park and Recreation Director Rick Meyer.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Happy to report that work began at 7 a.m. this morning on the Activity Center track. So we're going to inconvenience our folks a little bit for approximately 3 weeks.
They don't mind.
They don't mind, that's right. The reward will be worth it. We are going to have to close the entire top floor starting tomorrow, but our team is going to move some of the cardio equipment downstairs so that we don't totally knock our folks out. Also, Wednesday night is Parks and Recreation Youth Night with the Augusta Green Jackets. All of our coaches and players will be admitted free. They'll have a parade prior to the game. And tonight, first night of spring volleyball in gyms 1, 2, and 5, playing on Monday and Thursday evenings. Thank you.
Thank you. And closing out department details is Tourism Manager Carl Waldhauer.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Chamber of Commerce is going to host a Women in Business Luncheon next Tuesday at the Community Center. The guest speaker will be Sally Roberts, and she'll be covering burnout in the workplace. Tickets are still available on the Chamber website. North Augusta Cultural Arts Council will kick off Music in the Park series on Thursday, May 7th at Maud Enfield Park, and the series will continue every Thursday through July 2nd, and those concerts begin at 7 o'clock. And lastly, Explore North Augusta will host 2 concerts in May at the Sharon Jones Amphitheater. May 15th, we'll have the Broken Hearts Tom Petty tribute, and May 30th, we'll have FJ Foreigner and Journey tribute, and those concerts will start at 7:30.
Carl, or
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor, since it's our 250th American's birthday,
It
are
is.
we doing anything in July for that?
Yeah, the Arts and Heritage Center, Mary Ann Bigger, they're heading up a lot of the events in the area. I'm not certain what they eventually settled in on as a plan.
I mean, years ago, we used to have fireworks, and we all did it at the high schools around the track, and it was a big deal. Speakers, and,
Yeah, I'm not certain what they settled in on, to be honest with you.
of course, I know it's probably a little too late to do something.
Yeah, they've been planning for a year. There's been some coming and goings of,
I mean, it will be into the building downstairs.
some of it will. They're going to have stuff scattered about.
Some will
Around
be
town.
at the Living History Park.
Mhm.
Gonna be, I think they're looking for us to do a joint thing over with Augusta too. I mean, there's a whole, I mean, just reach out to Mary Ann. She's got a whole, I mean, they've been
Okay.
putting a
All
ton.
right. Well, I haven't heard about it, so.
Okay, yeah. You can get on their mailing list.
Thank you. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Mr. Clifford.
All right, so for this evening, we have our quarterly update on the Riverside Village financials, and Linda Williamson will go ahead and put this out here. Now, I would also say we may be approaching a point, this is the first year that the city has not had to enact the mid payments because the tax base has been above the requirements. We only have an annual requirement to do a fiscal report like this through Emma. I understand we're used to doing these as quarterly, but just for something for the council to consider, I think we're certainly at a close enough spot to be able to consider doing these semi-annually, twice a year as opposed to 4 times, because the information doesn't substantially change quarter to quarter. But I'll leave that for the council to determine and give us that guidance. So until other guidance is given, we're still on the quarterly clock. But it would be certainly helpful for the finance staff to do this twice a year instead of 4 times. But Linda, I'll turn it to you.
Thank you. Like I said, I have our first quarter update for tonight, and we did decide to do these on a voluntary basis to keep a timely financial reporting for the Riverside Village project. Again, we voluntarily upload these onto the electronic municipal market access website, and you can see those at www.emma.msrb.org. And tonight's report will be uploaded tomorrow morning. Okay, and this is what our bond council recommends that's included in our report every quarter. So we can move on to slide 2. Okay, this chart is the table that is included in our statistical section of our annual financial report. Presently, this table remains unchanged since the last update. We will be getting this table updated once we finish the 2025 financial audit. Next slide. Tax rates. This table has been updated to reflect the tax rate for our 2025 tax year. Again, our 2025 tax year revenue is collected in the fiscal year 2026. As you can see, our millage increased by 2. Council approved that in November. That 2 mil tax increase allowed for 3% COLA to all of our employees, the addition of 7 new positions citywide, and the purchase and replacement of new vehicles, machinery, and equipment without having to finance those items. Again, with that 79.5 millage rate, 3.8 is going to the capital projects fund. Next slide. This next table represents our 2026 budget. The Emma likes for us to publish this outside of the regular budget, and you will see that the budget's broken down by revenue type as well as our expenditure functions. And this 2026 budget actually represents about a 4% increase over the previous year's budget. Next slide. This is our 10 largest taxpayer slide. It's not going to change until my next update with the 2025 audit completion. Next slide. This is the tax collection of the city, which will also be updated in our next update with the 2025 audit, as well as our outstanding debt. Again, this is all will be from our 2025 statistical section of our audit. All right, general obligation bonds. Okay, this is the table where, this table shows our general obligation bonds. Now, we did do one for the public safety headquarters. This bond was actually done through referendum, so we still have our entire 8% borrowing capacity. Excuse me, a principal and interest payment was made in February, and that is reflected in this 2025 or 2026 figure for the first quarter. Not reflected in that number is a final principal and interest payment that we have made in April. You will see that reflected in the next update. So with that prepayment, we saved about $20,000 in interest. Yes, sir. Next up is our local hospitality taxes. Again, as a reminder, the city collects 2% in hospitality taxes on prepared foods in the city. However, 1% is dedicated to the debt service. In quarter 1, we've collected over $700,000 in taxes, which is up about $96,000 from the same quarter last year. So we're looking at about a 15% increase starting the year out. While the figures for 25 have not been audited yet, as you will see, we collected almost $3 million in hospitality taxes, which shows a 7% increase over 2024. The receipts of our tax dedicated to debt service outperformed our financial model by over $540,000 last year. Next slide. This table represents all of our accommodations tax, and again, only the accommodations tax collected from the Crown Hotel is dedicated to debt service. But we use the total amount for our revenue reporting. We do have a 3% tax rate for the city. The unaudited 25 collections show that we received over $550,000 in accommodations taxes, showing a 13.5% increase over the previous year. Quarter one collections are roughly about the same as they were in 2025's first quarter. So we expect to kind of see that balance out. Between 23 and 24, we had the True Hotel coming online, so that it helped with that bump. So until we get another hotel, we'll probably kind of see those kind of flatten out. All right, next table we have is our tax increment revenues. This includes all of our TIF revenues, including what we receive from the county as well as what we bill ourselves. We also do have to pay a $350,000 payment to the county as part of this intergovernmental agreement, which we will do in May, so you'll see that reflected in our next update. Our TIF revenues remained about the same as the previous year. Now you'll notice that we do have a big little increase in 2025, and that is actually due to Grayville Ironwood paid their taxes for the 2025 tax year 2 months early, so it reflected in our 25 revenue. So depending on the timing of that payment, we may see a little bit of a reduction in this graph for the 2026 tax year. The final due date for the taxes are May 1st, so our next quarter update, we'll see that number jump up a little bit. Next. The next table represents our mid-assessments, which this year will be 0. And as Jim mentioned, we pulled that report in February that showed that our tax revenues for 25 were going to exceed the annual parcel assessment, so we did not levy any mid-fees this year. Next slide. Parking revenues. This chart actually shows us a positive balance over the last 2 years, so that was great news. So we've been working with the hotel and the Green Jackets and making sure that we're keeping those parking revenues coming in to us and honoring those agreements we had. Again, this chart shows our net parking revenue, so our expenses are coming out of the gross revenues, and so that's why you will see some negatives. We do tend to get parking kind of delayed from Crown, but we do get it, so I would expect that number to turn positive for the next report. And finally, stadium revenues. So all of our 2025 agreed payments were made last year, so that's great news. Our admissions tax we usually get in August in the fall after the Green Jackets have finished their season. The retail and rent, we've actually received that in April as planned, and so you'll see that reflected in our next update. And then our corporate name and rights we get in December of the year. So that is all I have for you tonight.
Linda, why is the admissions tax so high in 2025? Does that have to do with attendance?
We receive admissions tax from 2 sources. We have, forget what the name
Department
of
of
it is.
Revenue.
The Department of Revenue sends us what the Green Jackets submit, but there's also another agreement with the Department of Revenue where they will send what they receive as well. A portion of what they receive at the state will come back to us in a sort of as a refund.
But it's just the most we've ever had.
Yes.
30,000 about every year, and now we're jumping to 98.
So I don't expect to see that this year. I think we just had a lot that had come in that they had held for a few years.
Mr. Mayor and Council, subject to any additional questions from the dais, that's all we have for the staff this evening.
Just want to make a couple announcement, upcoming events. The North Augusta National Day of Prayer will be on May the 7th. Fairview Presbyterian Church is hosting that. Doors will open at 8 o'clock. The program starts at 8:30, and then there will be a prayer walk that night from 6 to 8. For any folks who go to church, if you want to know where your church is walking, I'll just tell you to reach out to your church. They're aware of the prayer walk, so they can kind of give you that information.
And Mayor, we're gonna do one, I talked to Amber Porter at the rec, and Rick and I we're gonna do one at the ball field, like we've always, at each tower.
Perfect, great. Just want to give a big shout out to our Merchants Alliance, as well as Avery, Spears Mahoney, and North Augusta Forward for the Spring Fest. If you went down this weekend, huge crowd. And for the, we approved the art for the bathroom. It looks great. You will not be scared of it. You won't be scared at all, Pat, I promise. But the artist started putting the art on there. And again, that park is getting so much use now, and we're very fortunate with the partnership. North Augusta Forward is the one who funded the bathrooms. They look great. So with the new park and with the bathrooms, just fantastic. Just want to very, very thankful for that organization and doing that. I want to let y'all know about a loss. Tom Arnold, he was the oldest World War II veteran still living in North Augusta. He passed away last week at 100 years old. I know David Buck was able to make the service on Saturday, but it was a blessing because about 2 months ago, David Buck, John Felak, and myself, we got to meet Mr. Arnold at his house. And he is just, he was as sharp as, the way he was going, I figured he'd go by 110.
He was a phenomenal person. Even right up there until the end, he was taking care of himself. He fell, and that's kind of what happened.
But anyway, just great to know that. And the last thing is, North Augusta Chamber of Commerce had their, what they call the Impact Business Summit last week. And two of our downtown businesses, Carpenter's Tire and Auto, shout out for Pat Carpenter and her family, and then Orange Otter, they won the two different small business. There were two categories, I don't remember what they were, but Aubrey Hinkson at Orange Otter, which was fantastic. And I thought this was interesting. One of the companies is a staffing agency, and they received 27 applications for jobs in the North Augusta-Aiken area from that summit. And they're confident they're going to be able to place those, whether it's Aiken, North Augusta, Augusta area. So anyway, just great job by the Chamber of Commerce. Very thankful for what they're doing with this Impact Business Summit. And it's always nice to sit on the dais with a small business person of the year, Pat Carpenter. With that, thank y'all very much, and we stand adjourned.